So,
I mean, I would have kept with him
okay, cool.
after he
Yeah,
just
good.
kept walking.
Okay, that's
Okay.
He'd
good.
have been in front of me a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Cool. All right. So yeah, I just sort of make my way past them. I just sort of greet them and just keep going. I don't really do much else than that. Um,
All
like
right.
I hear
You
them
continue.
speaking a different language or something guttural, and I sort of just ignore it. I keep going, I guess.
Okay.
Hmm.
Here we go. So you continue along the road.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, when you do pass the horses, I should mention this. They appear to be very skittish. They appear to have whip marks, and one of them does have a bleeding wound on his haunches, on his haunch. They're tied to a tree trunk. They're not saddled or anything. The saddles are off to the side. Just as a side note, do you keep going?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Again, people's business is their own, as far as I'm concerned. So let
Sure.
them let them have
I'm
this.
more on edge
Yeah.
Okay.
after see, like, are the condition of the horses like really apparent?
Yeah, it's fairly obvious.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm on edge, very on edge.
All right. By
Yeah.
the way, you also should know, or you would know, that the orcs that live in the hill country are known for very cunning traps.
Is this something that we would actually know, or is this just something that?
About what, the traps?
Yeah.
Something you heard of.
Okay.
Maybe a
Right.
rumor. Maybe you're not sure.
I mean, our characters do live in the world, so
Yeah.
you've heard of those hill orcs, like if you've ever heard it once, you know.
Okay. What I'm trying to do here, Graham, is basically play off the fact that I got a really bad uh, trouble sense roll here, and I'm just like, whatever. It's these guys seem fine to me.
No, no,
So,
it's great.
yeah.
I know it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep trotting along, I guess, and sort of make merry small talk with Oral as I do it, like not giving a care as to what's happening around me for the most part.
All right. Oral, anything to add?
Would we have known they were hill orcs exactly? Or?
The only orcs in the area.
Oh, okay. So, but we would generally be distrusting of hill orcs, or
I don't know. Would Oral be generally distrusting of hill orcs? The only orcs you've known are half orcs, and the only rumors you've heard are generally negative.
yeah, then I guess I wouldn't really want to deal with them at all, as little as possible.
Mhm.
It'd have been better if they weren't even there, as far as Oral's concerned.
Okay. So you continue along. Thankfully, nothing adverse happens to you. Nothing further with them, as far as you know. But you get to the part of the path that's marked with a sign that says, well, there's a picture that's got like a no smoking symbol, and it also says in the beach crustian, danger, do not enter.
I
Um,
like clasp my hands together and I rub them in excited fashion, like, all right, brother, we're finally here. Time to go on our first adventure. I like climb down the horse and I like, what does the road ahead look like? It's suitable for traveling on a horse, or is it more like a walkthrough?
well, in fact, the road continues further to the east, but the pathway that into the forest is into the forest. No pathway, perhaps just like a game trail. It's about it varies from 15 feet to about 5 feet wide at any one point.
Okay, well, I just want to, I guess, lead the horse
Yeah, I'll do
through the forest
Okay, so you
in
get down,
single file, I
get it.
guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every so often, it takes a nibble at you.
Every so often I laugh and it's sort of like smack him on the nose and like, flick him with a flick of my fingers or whatever.
You give a little forest imagery, I think. There we go.
Oh, nice.
lovely.
So
And
is it wet forest or is it dry forest?
it's well, that's a good point. That's a good segue, actually. When you get a little ways into the forest, not too far, just a couple things. You come across a small creek, and the creek is about 6 feet wide and probably easy enough to wade through it. But there's also been a log that's been collapsed onto the creek, not to dam it or anything, but to act as serve as a walkway. It looks like it's been buffed as if people have walked over it for many years.
Is it Does it look like it's stable water, or is it rotting?
It looks fairly stable. It's a big tree.
Okay, so I just sort of walk out along it, I guess. And...
Okay,
Well,
with-
could the horses cross this, or
You can probably ford the creek with the horses. Yeah, they can probably walk. It's probably even if you'd like to take them, that's fine. But there's also many, just like the picture you see here. That's what you would see if you were to look to the left of the creek. But there are many trees that are kind of strewn about and kind of thinner trees. If you wanted to tie it up here, you could. But you
Yeah,
could
I'll tie my horse up here. Or I'll call to Wilzer. I think
Yeah.
this might be where to part with the horses for a bit.
Okay, I mean, give me a second here, and I like walk over. I walk over and I let Chestnut sort of drink from the water before we
Okay.
move forward, and then I walk him back and tie him up. He's like,
Okay.
"Oh, maybe you should do the same, there, brother." And he looks kind of thirsty.
It's only been 2 hours, but I suppose I guess I'll follow suit.
Okay. You do so, and do you cross on the tree?
Yeah,
Yes.
I walk across it. Yeah,
No problem.
no problems. Just sort of don't even really care too much about what I'm doing. Just keep walking. Might look dangerous, but I sort of look over and I'm like, yeah, keep walking. Yeah.
The path that you're following continues kind of akin to the terrain out in the hill lands. It goes up and down, not big hills, but there's some up areas, and then you go back down kind of a steep pathway. There's like some rock steps almost that have been worked their way into the path. So you maybe have some points where you had to get down on your going backwards to be safe, and you are, for the most part, if you guys have been hiking before, you guys know what it's like sometimes.
Yep.
All right. In fact, though, you come into looks like could be trouble, and I want you to give me another trouble sense check here for this. You come to the road, the path narrows to a area that's so narrow, only one person could probably go at a time, maybe off to the side. Do you guys see this?
Yeah, we see it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks very dark in there. There's water that's erratically dripping that's causing that sort of red appearance to the side. The creek is continuing to your right. There it goes. That's the same creek you saw earlier. And, well, I guess I can stop that before I was walking.
How high is this?
This bluff, it's about 15 feet tall.
Could we climb it?
Some sort of climb walls or mountaineering skills, yes. The creek runs along to the right, so you could perhaps kind of scale your way along the right side, but it's possible to fall in perhaps and get your stuff wet. And the left side is like a cliff almost. There's another path up there that's also 15 feet tall. So you could double back, go up the higher path too, or you could make your way through this.
So I rolled a 7 on my trouble check.
You did, yeah, and you're, who knows, there could be a good place for goblins to be in there, perhaps, hanging vines, poison ivy, you're not quite sure, though you're fairly confident that, you feel like you're king of the world, no trouble for you.
All right. So I kind of look back at Oral and I'm like, now this is more like it. And I sort of like slide my hand and sort of crouch in. Am I able to get in without too much trouble? Like,
You're gonna have to take your pack off and drag it along behind you and turn sideways.
that's fine. I'll do that.
Okay.
I like
You
slide
got it.
in. Yeah.
It's about 20 feet long. You inch your way through and emerge on the other side unharmed.
It's fine, Oral. You can come through. I made it through the other side. It's pretty easy. And I sit there and just wait for him to come through.
Dave, you're kind of breaking up. What was that?
Oh, did you not hear anything I said? That's weird.
Yeah, I got nothing of it.
Okay, so I made it through, fine. I called back
Okay.
to you and I'm like, it's fine, Oral, you can come through.
All right, awesome. Then I guess I follow. I take off my pack and I kind of, one hand holds the pack and the other hand I kind of keep on one of my daggers.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, good call.
Stiletto at my waist, and I kind of very, very slowly inch through until I'm on the other side.
Yeah, when you emerge, you see that that Walzer is moister than he was when he entered, and you as well have picked up a bit of moisture on your clothing.
Lovely.
So,
So
at this point, I want to pull out the map, and I sort of want to, I sort of gesture over to Oral, and I'm like, how far in do you think we are right now in terms of walking? I want to mark where this is. I don't know.
I don't believe either of you have cartography, so it's anybody's best guess.
Can like, oh, I want to sort of like scratch my chin. I'm like, I want to take a sort of a rough guesstimate of how big the map is. So if we go by how far we've traveled and how far we've walked into the forest, like, can I make is there any way that I can just make like some sort of roll to like see whether or not if I can get close to this, or?
You don't need to make the roll. I've done it for you already. You think it's a little over halfway. The red mark?
Yeah.
A little bit halfway through the red mark. A little more than halfway.
Okay, so I want to sort of like, I want to sort of like just sort of, if I can, make a mental note or make a mark as to where we left our horses.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think that's so you think you left your horses about right near the entrance.
Right near the entrance? Okay.
Yep.
All right. And then I sort of pack it up and sling my pack over my back, and I was like, isn't this fun, brother? Haven't done this in a long time. And I like sort of keep...
Or ever. Kind of pat him on the back and start down the trail. Or ever.
Or it reminds me of us when we were little rugrats, doesn't it? Running around the city, exploring. It's got the same sort of feel.
Yes. So far, there's less rats, which is a positive.
Well, there might be rats. I mean, we can't see them. That's the whole point. I like sort of chuckle to myself when I keep walking.
Hey, so you keep walking down the path, you see a turtle on the banks of the stream, hanging out.
Ever seen a turtle before?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, all right, good.
It's not a life-altering experience.
Yeah,
So far.
so you continue along the pathway, keep going. There's kind of paths that lead out of the main path and then back in, and kind of meandering circular paths. But you eventually come to an area, a part of the path where the trees have been what appear to be ripped out of their roots.
I wonder what did that.
They toppled over, or
They've toppled over, and you see actually farther along, if you go a little bit more ways, just more and more of these trees have been knocked over. You come to a clearing that was not necessarily supposed to be here, but there's about 100 feet by 100 feet circular clearing, and on the far side of the clearing, you see a circular tower, and the bottom half is halfway obscured diagonally by this hill that goes further into the forest. This clearing is littered with 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot flagstones that are the same size as that of the tower, and the entire part of the tower that you can see, the wall, has been blasted out, and the edges are scorched with either flame or electricity scorching. And 2 large boulders have appeared to be rolled into the clearing. The tower is built of heavy mortared stone, blue-gray in hue, and it's very dark in that tower. Not much light getting in there, but there's not much sun out here, and also the overhanging part of the tower is still intact, and so it's blocking any light that would get inside.
Can I just take a look at... is there any way that I'd know what type of creature or what type of force would need to be applied to knock down these trees?
Give me a straight intelligence check. So you have 11.
So I need a lower than 11 on a d20?
Yep.
Wow.
All right, critical failure.
Yeah.
Nothing that you know of. It's probably an act of God. That's all you can think of. That's all you can think of.
Just an act of God. Yeah.
I'll try that. I guess straight intelligence, right?
Yep.
Yeah, my intelligence. So my intelligence is 11. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I miscalled that. Yeah.
No, you're good. Nope.
All right. Yeah, you agree. You concur.
The gods are angry.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of tap Walzer on the shoulder and say we should stick to the trees, and then kind of put my hand up and say and try to be quiet as you do.
I like look at him
So
and like, why? What do you think is inside?
I don't know, but something did something to these trees.
I thought we agreed on this. It was an act of God.
And if that god is still around and angry, I want nothing to do with it.
You make a good point,
So-
but we didn't come around here to pussyfoot around, good brother.
Well, I'm going this way, and I kind of walk off, like, and you said it was like a half circle, like the circle of trees kind of leads around to where it would still get back to the tower.
Yeah, there are still trees kind of flanking this tower, but this kind of egg-shaped 100-foot clearing is
Okay, well, I'm gonna stick to the tree line, like one row of trees inside the tree line, and kind of circle toward the tower.
I sort of like look over the tower and I'm just like, and then I like follow him.
Follow him, okay?
Yeah.
Oral, are you trying to move silently or hide in shadows?
No. Oh wait, sorry, I'm not Oral.
I am.
Yeah.
He may not be, but I'm doing it as a natural thing. Just when things need to be, when things get real, when shit gets real, and trees are randomly ripped out. I try to be less seen.
Okay. You want to give me a move silently check?
Sure. What is that against? That would be
I have you here as 18.
so what? I need to get above 2.
No, lower than 18.
18 or lower.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, 18 lower.
Yeah, Walzer, you can't even hear your brother move, but you're making a lot of noise.
Can I still see him?
Yeah.
Okay, so I kind of just like, I was like, well, what is he doing? Just sort of keep walking.
What is he doing, and how is he doing it?
I'm just like, I'm looking
That's
around. I
kinda
can't really
steps
see
on
anyone.
branches.
So I'm just like, my brother, you've been apart too long. And then I just keep following him. He's just sort of like sneaking around and shit, and I'm just like, just walking upright. And I'm just like, yeah.
All right. So you guys, Oral gets there first. You get to the right side of the tower, and when you get closer, you see that it appeared to have been maybe a dining hall at one point. There's a large table that's been cracked in half, that looks like a flagstone fell on it and it cracked it. There are soil tapestries, kind of mud and grime, algae, some fungus is growing on a wooden chair. There's like silverware and forks and knives and spoons, tankards. And there's kind of about a half-inch of water that's kind of sitting. Kind of tastes like, it smells like rot.
What did the what's the silverware look like?
It looks like silverware, like made of silver, like tarnished though.
How dark is it in here?
Would it be an appraisal? Like, would it still hold some value? Put it that way.
Well, certainly, maybe somebody didn't know that it was tarnished or that it was kind of bad. Maybe to a unassuming, mark, maybe.
All right, I'll pick up some of it.
Okay,
Just
maybe.
slip it in my bag.
Do I see him like taking like rusted forks from the table?
Well, hold on. That stuff is actually on the inside. What separates you from the inside of the room is a chest-high wall.
Oh, okay.
That remains. So you'd have to climb over the wall first.
I suppose I'd climb the wall.
Okay. You also see there's a door on the inside of this room that leads further into the hillside. So
Okay.
you kind of mount the.
Actually, before I climb the wall, like, does it look like it's gonna get dark?
No, but it's about 4-ish.
No. I mean, like inside. Like, how dark is it inside?
Oh yeah, there's not much light in there at all. It's very dark, shadowy.
I kind of. Well, then I'm gonna kind of look back at Walzer and say, "Do you have a torch?"
Like, I got the next best thing, brother, and I pull out a candle and I light it. And I hand it to him. And I'm like, yeah, one for you, one for me. How about it?
I just stare in bewilderment at this candle I'm now holding.
Hey,
Like,
look,
what is this?
I didn't have a lot of
Why is-
money to like get some stuff here, but
Why
it's
is
the
this
best I
so
could
hard?
make do with. And I kind of I look over at Aura and I'm like, so you don't want to walk through a perfectly good field, but you're happy to jump into an old rotting tower?
Treasure, my friend. Treasure.
And my eyes light up at this. I'm like, ooh, all right, you've got my interest, sir. And then I sort of like hop over the wall.
I kind of just gesture out into the opening of the field, and I go, "See out there, Out there could only lie death and misery. In here could lie treasure, death, and misery. That's where the death.
I like laugh and I'm like, it's good to have you back in my life. And then I like sort of like jump over the wall.
I kind of look at the candle and go, "Yes, it's wonderful."
So who goes first?
Yeah, I'll jump over the wall. I won't care. I'll just jump in.
Firstly, okay. So you put your hands on the wall. You clamber over. When you land, though, I need you to make a saving throw for me.
Sure. Yeah, that's just a D20.
Just a D20. All right. Oral, you see Walzer climb over the wall, land on the ground, and then immediately collapse into this pile of soiled tapestries. He kind of stumbles a little bit, knocks over a chair, it scoots, and you hear it scoot, and then he just lands face first into a pile of soiled tapestries. And
I'm just gonna kind of sit on top of the wall and call down to him. "Are you okay?"
I like stand up and I'm like, I brush myself off and I'm just like,
you try, but you actually find yourself, you cannot move.
I cannot
Stiff as
move.
a board.
And I'm like, can I say anything?
You try, your lips are as well.
Is
Okay.
he breathing?
You're not sure.
I'm gonna kind of look down at what where he did. I see where he landed.
Yeah, have you climbed up on the wall?
Yeah, I'm on top of the wall.
I'd like you to do as well to make a saving throw. All right, and so you're sitting on top of the wall and not moving.
Lovely.
So a few minutes go by. It seems like an eternity for both of you.
What's the position I'm in, by the way? Is it a comfortable one, or is it going to be one that I'm going to have to like stretch after I get out of it, or like?
You may have to do some lunges or something.
I just imagine me like face down, bum up in the air. I'm just like.
On a not to have my brother dead line of thought, but this standing water, where was it?
It's all over. He's kind of propped up on this soiled tapestry, though, so he's not in danger of drowning.
Okay.
And it's only half.
Somewhat worried. He would go out in the sun.
Yeah, well, you should be. You probably are worried, and you're even more so worried in the fact that you can't even move and do anything about it.
Yes, not moving is not.
Yeah, but in fact,
So can I see anything?
actually, 2 minutes go by. It seems like an eternity. Walzer, you are able to move again,
All right.
and Earl, and then a few moments later, you two, do you immediately move off the wall, or do you stay where you are?
I would be constantly trying to move my fingertips, and the second that I can move my fingers, then I'll slowly try to survey the area before fully moving.
Yeah.
So here's what I want to do. I want to grab the tapestry and I want to throw it against one of the fucking wet. Fucking.
It's gross too. It's like
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like visibly angry. I'm like, what's a good swear word for this age, by the way? Like,
You're 21, so have at it.
Well, in like Middle Ages, I mean, like, curses or.
okay. So regular English curses are fine. I can.
Sure, just do regular. It doesn't matter.
All right.
Just slip a good fucking.
So you fucking piece of fucking wet tapestry piece of shit, and I like throw it against the wall and I'm like kicking shit around and like knocking over tables and chairs and stuff.
Yep. A lot of noise being made.
Yeah.
I'm just surveying as much. Like, what do I see?
Well, in fact,
Very acutely staring at this area in front of me.
so immediately when you come to, you feel it on your britches as well because you're sitting on the wall. But when you're able to feel your hands again, you kind of bring them up to your face. There's like a clear slime that's pouring off your hand.
Oh, disgusting.
And as well as Walzer, when he started to move, there's this kind of grime, but it kind of got mixed in with the kind of rot of the tapestry and stuff, and so you didn't really notice. But
Yeah.
Oral definitely notices this kind of clear slime.
I think I would have been
Right.
way too angry to even care about what was dripping off my body at that point. So.
Yep.
I'm going to the water that's standing in the room. Like, what is it like?
It's brackish.
I'm going to try to wash the slime off in the water.
Okay. Yeah. Do you leap into the room proper?
Yes.
Yeah. and kind of get down and get some water and wipe it off. It comes off easily enough, but you got to give it a good scrub. Maybe take the tapestry and rub it with it.
Right. I'm then going to take a handful of the tapestry and throw it over the top of
Oh yeah, the wall.
of the wall.
Okay.
Just kind of, I mean, just enough that if I had to go back over, I wouldn't have to touch the slime.
Uh-huh. I want to also mention, Walzer, your candle went out,
Yeah, obviously.
and Oral, your candle actually dripped some hot wax onto your hand. You couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, lovely.
But no, I mean, you don't take any penalties or anything like that. But whatever's next.
Can I pick up the candle again and like look at it and see if it's fucked or
It's
broken?
wet.
Just
All
wet?
wet.
All right, so
Yeah.
I'll put it back into my pack and produce another one then,
Okay.
and I light it up. And
Is there anything dry in this room?
definitely not me.
In fact, no.
No. Okay.
You do see a door on the opposite wall that is a double door. One of the doors, the right side, is kind of swaying back and forth. The other one is firmly latched shut. But yes, pretty much everything has a good film of grime or water on it.
Okay, well, I'm going to give the candle to Walzer.
Now I have two candles. I'm just like holding them like this. I'm like,
Right, but one of them is on, and maybe you
yeah,
can
both of them on, and I'm like,
see if you can... Yeah, well, I'm going to say, like, one of them was wet, but, like, see if you can get your other one to light back up.
well, I
While
just
he's doing
replaced
that,
it
I'm
with
going
a
to
different
bend down
one.
and
so-
take a couple of pieces of silverware
Okay,
and just put them in my pack.
sure, you got it. Maybe a one set.
Okay.
I look over at him and I'm just like, why are you why are you taking the rusted fork?
Tarnished, not rusted, but yes.
Nah.
It's, you'd be surprised what can fetch a pretty penny. Treasure can sometimes look ugly.
I like sort of nod. I'm like, all right. I hand him back the candle.
Yeah. Did you get yours relit?
I replaced it with a dry version, and I
Oh, okay.
just lit that one instead.
And I guess I moved to the door.
Okay. Yep. So the room is fairly slanted towards the clearing, and so most of the water is in the.
Actually, before I would go in, I want to pick up one of the cups. You said there was a cup in the room.
Yep. Sure.
I'll just pick up the cup and kind of hold it in my other free hand.
Yep.
That's it. And then I move to the door.
Yeah. So the door is the door has a good film of grime on it as well, but the floor, you gotta get a good look inside. It's very dark. There's a long hallway, very dark. You haven't opened the door yet though, but you see with the swinging of the right side door, you can see a very dark long hallway, and the floor in there is dry because the room is slanted a little bit this ways.
Okay. Then I guess as quietly as I can possibly be, I'll enter the room.
Well, enter the hallway
The
rather.
hallway. Yeah, the hallway rather.
Give me another move silently.
I would argue that I would follow him, so maybe at a disadvantage as well. Okay.
All right, you're so silent. The most silent ever. I
Okay.
want you to go and I'm going to make a note on my move silently. I'm going to put a dot next to yours at the end of the session. We're going to roll for that and see if it increases.
Nice.
Okay. Because of the critical success, or just
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
love it.
Right.
Okay. Well, then
Yeah, you managed to open the door too if you want to.
I would love to.
Okay, you open the door and set it aside, and it's very quiet.
It's just the power of stealth. So, what do I see in this hall that I creep into?
You see a long dark hallway that you can't see the other end of.
I guess I progress forward with my candle of safety.
It's dark in here.
Suddenly, darkness. You got a candle there, Graham? You want to turn that on?
I got a candle right here.
So I just follow him. Again, Oral's doing this thing where he's like crouch walking, and I have no idea why he's doing it. I'm just following him. It's
Just
like,
slapping your boots along behind him.
I'm sort of bored at this point. I'm just sort of following him along. I was like, I expected more from this place. It's just dark and empty.
That's not a bad thing so far.
So, Oral, when you're moving along, you may be touching the wall to just to check and see if you see anything. There seems to be some sort of grit on the wall, and when you kind of move the camera closer, maybe give it